Time now for Media Watch with Emma James. And Emma, you've been looking at some of the quirkier tales that have come out following Thursday's general election in the UK, and there have been plenty of them.
Yes, absolutely. The UK is known as a nation of eccentrics, and never more so than on election night. And there is one particular character who seems to have stolen all the attention, all the headlines, even in the Daily Telegraph, which is a right-wing bastion of seriousness most of the time. They have the headline, "Lord Buckethead steals the show in Maidenhead and secures a new Buckethead record." Now, of course, Maidenhead is particularly important because it is the seat of the Prime Minister, Theresa May. There she is pictured alongside Lord Buckethead, and to the left you can see a large orange-red character. That is Elmo from Sesame Street. So Lord Buckethead, we don't know that much about him, really. We don't know his real name. On Twitter, he just calls himself the Intergalactic Space Lord. Says he enjoys planet-conquering, dominating inferior species, and Lovejoy, which is a drama series about antiques and crime and the like. So not much clearer on who he is. What he stands for, though, he says, is strong but not entirely stable leadership. I think we probably could have guessed that. But people seem to have loved him, especially outside of the UK. I'm delighted to know that in a mythical place called Maidenhead, a British Prime Minister shares a stage with a certain Lord Buckethead, says this Twitter user. And this one too, saying that democracy is a beautiful thing, as Theresa May gives her speech after winning the seat, and Lord Buckethead looking on. Ben Jacobs, a journalist, says that only 3 votes for Elmo in Maidenhead. He couldn't deal with the electoral juggernaut of Lord Buckethead. Lord Buckethead has been tweeting all day, lots of celebratory tweets, because he did get a record number of votes for him, 249, and he actually tweeted this photo of him doing a dab movement, a sort of dance move on the stage alongside the Prime Minister and all the other candidates, looking a little alarmed perhaps by his presence. Looking elsewhere, of course, we have Mr. Fishfinger. He is an important one not to forget. He got 309 votes. He was up against the Lib Dem leader, Tim Farron, and obviously didn't win, but lots of people certainly liked him and liked his enthusiasm for the job. There we go. Now, as well as eccentricities, there was also a moment of embarrassment, this time for Jeremy Corbyn, who did the world's most unfortunate high five. He was celebrating along with Emily Thornberry, his shadow foreign secretary, went in for the high five. She moved her hand at the wrong moment, and that's more of a high boob than a high five. The spoof account for the Queen says Mr. Corbyn seems to have taken a leaf out of President Trump's book when it comes to greeting women. But she's keeping her political neutrality. She's been mocking Theresa May too, saying she received a text this morning, "Just checking, ma'am, but it's too late to cancel the election, isn't it?" So yes, lots of jokes all round on all sides of the political spheres.
On a more serious note, Theresa May's election campaign was, of course, dogged by several U-turns that she made. And those words that she said before or even after announcing this snap poll have come back to haunt her.
Very much so. If Margaret Thatcher, the former Conservative Prime Minister, was not a lady for turning, well, Theresa May is perhaps her opposite. A lot of people retweeting this tweet from last month where she said, "If I lose just 6 seats, I will lose this election and Jeremy Corbyn will be sitting down to negotiate with Europe." We now know, of course, that that's not true because she's formed an alliance with the DUP. And a lot of people very, very unhappy about that, not least because some people see it as hypocritical, because there was a lot of criticism, especially in the right-wing press, of Jeremy Corbyn supposedly being a terrorist sympathiser. Now, James O'Brien, quite a firebrand radio presenter in the UK, points out that if Jeremy Corbyn is a terrorist sympathiser, then what will Theresa May be called when she joins with the DUP? Now, if you don't know much about the Democratic Unionist Party from Northern Ireland, this article in The Independent is well worth a read, because this party is actually backed by the Ulster Defence Association, which they describe here as a violent loyalist paramilitary group which is still active today. A lot of very big concerns about what that party stands for and the people who support them.
Emma James with Media Watch. That's all we have time for.